Eric Morante's story begins in Houston, Texas, where as a child he liked to play football and box. After graduating high school, Eric enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. During a third voluntary deployment to Iraq in 2007, Eric and his fellow Marines were guarding a bridge when a suicide bomber drove a truck beneath them carrying over 3,000 pounds of explosives. Eric lost his right leg from the knee down and completely shattered his wrist. This has brought him years of physical and emotional hardship. But this story is not a story of misfortune. This is a story of resilience and a story of grit. This journey has brought us at HTV 1,200 miles away from home to New Braunfels, Texas, the site of this year's build. Hundreds of local volunteers have built this house from the ground up in just 12 days. This is the story of Sergeant Eric Morante's journey home.
10 years ago is when I got injured, and the mindset that I had at the time, I was 22 years old, you know, at the height of my career, established 3 deployments already. I thought I was going to be in the Marine Corps for 20 years, you know, and then from there to try to start to find a home afterwards here in Texas, to establish a home here in Texas. I never thought I'd end up being blessed or lucky enough to be in a position like this. And the way things, it's funny how things work, you know, like I said, you just kind of got to give it a little bit of time and wait, you know, good things come to those who wait. And I finally feel I can take that weight off my chest and just be at, I mean, if you just listen to the surroundings here, it's super peaceful. And this is what I dreamed of, you know, retiring one day. This is what I would be in a place like this. And like I said, it's not a first home. It's not going to be a temporary home. It's going to be a forever home, you know, for me to retire from now until I end up passing. I guess a couple of months ago, after, you know, we started coordinating on time of arrival and planning and getting all this stuff together, the dates together, it didn't really hit me until I started to pack up, you know, all my stuff in the boxes. And then once we loaded it up into the trailer 2 weekends ago, and I was hauling all that stuff in the back of a trailer towards San Antonio, is when I was actually starting to really feel the move and the new home and, you know, the build.
One of the things we do with the Soldier's Journey Home is we don't build the same house all the time. We actually design the houses to actually be built for the recipient. We look at the needs that they have, and we'll actually build the house for for their injury. You will have, you know, the increased doorways, the hallways, handicap accessible showers. The walkways is a big one on this one. You know, that is probably one of the biggest parts of the build, where landscaping is not a major factor in the builds we've done prior. But this one, the landscaping has been a big hurdle, and luckily we have the guys that'll be able to take care of that for us.
I run the landscape side of things, so when we got here, the foundation was 4 feet above what we thought it was going to be, and we had to cover it up, and the wall that you see right here was not planned, not at all. So we scrambled at the last minute, and we actually had some money come through with Simplify Fund, helping with the handicap accessibility to the house. And with that, they helped purchase what you see is everything outdoors right now. You know, my company would basically do something like this over the course of 4 to 8 weeks. And we've done it in actually most of the landscape you see here has been done in the past 3 days. So we've been moving, working late hours.
As beautiful as it looks, the landscaping part of it, actually the functionality of it is the fact that instead of stairs or a ramp or anything, Eric will now have the access to leave the house without having to transition in grade, meaning that there won't be a ramp or anything like that. He'll be able to leave the front, and he'll be able to roll right out to the driveway in his wheelchair, or he'll be able to do the exact same thing through his back deck that they're going to do the exact same type of system for him. Weather was definitely probably the biggest obstacle in this, between the rain and the cold and everything, and just the conditions, the windy conditions. But we were able to overcome them early on, and luckily we've been blessed with the weather we've had for the past few days.
We always like to have that one magnificent raising of the walls. He said, we're going to be behind schedule. We need to get started. So they started right away. They offloaded that truck and started working. And the biggest problem then was the truck lines kept getting washed away, so it delayed them. And then the crew came in from Tennessee that afternoon, and they literally drove in from Tennessee, strapped on their work belts, and joined the crew that was here from New York and Georgia, and Tennessee and Slidell. And then Wednesday, the rest of the contingent got in here, and the official start was Thursday. But given the weather conditions, freezing cold and pouring rain, they got a lot more accomplished the first few days than they ordinarily would have.
These guys are building a house in 9 days, and when we build a house in 9 days, they're going to run into problems and hiccups and get frustrated. And you watch, I mean, you know everyone's a good person, so when you watch how they handle those situations, it's a learning experience. You just got to, you know they're doing the right thing for the right reasons, and you just learn and absorb. And you leave with different ways of doing things and different ways of coping with things, different ways of handling your emotions.
All you guys and Nine Line Foundation and the Soldier's Journey Home, they've been busting their tail, you know, and with bad weather and everything, you know, to get this done on time, and we're here. It's the day.
This will be amazing because it is not only 100% handicapped accessible and mortgage free, it will be fully furnished. So for him to be able to step in and say, I'm home, that's what we want to see. And he has a young 8-year-old son, and we are, of course, decorating his son's room appropriate for an 8-year-old. So it's going to be exciting.
A major change from previous builds is that a Soldier's Journey Home joined efforts with Nine Line Foundation. We learned more about how the partnership came to be.
We came across Eric, and then we found out at the same time Nine Line Foundation was looking into possibly assisting him too. So it was a perfect marriage at that time. I got in touch with their president, and both of us collaborated, and we realized at that point that it would be a perfect partnership to move forward with.
Our expertise is garnering the support of the community and public relations and fundraising. Their expertise is building. So throughout this process, Patty and I actually are the ones that were in touch with all the local community members to get the donations of goods and services. Separately, we can do great things. Together, we can do phenomenal things.
The best group of people that I've been able to meet. We've had, you know, other organizations that have approached us before in the past, but nothing compared to this at all, no comparison. Now that we've gotten to this point, you know, like I said, our relationship with them, I've gotten so close to Patty and the guys from New York that I know personally further, and then not to mention all these other firefighters that volunteered to come and build a home. Like, these guys came from 14 different states. And, you know, like, I feel like all these guys are part of my family now, and we've hung out, we've broke bread, and we've talked, and we've laughed, and, you know, play with each other, and just watching them build a house. I mean, they're having you know, a good time, and they're doing it, you know, because they feel it's necessary to give back, you know, to the veteran community and the veterans that have gone and fought for their freedom.
The partnership, the personnel from both organizations. You have incredibly talented people that sacrifice their time and their to be away from their families to do this. And without their support and their skills, this would never happen.
It's been a wonderful partnership, and also the support from the local community, from our GC to the roofers to the sheetrockers. You know, most of them are volunteer effort. So that enables us to be able to accomplish our mission much more quickly. Both the Soldier's Journey Home and Nine Line Foundation are 100% volunteer. So we have no brick and mortar. We have no paid salaried employees. We could not do this in this time frame if we were not working together.
Their heart is really in it. You know, they're, like I said, they're not worried about getting paid. They're not worried about, you know, the weather conditions and, you know, whether they're in pain. Like some of the guys, one of the guys had to get a root canal done the other day. We had guys, you know, working with broken ribs, and they're out here and they're putting everything into it. That's what separates, you know, them from everybody else.
This project would not be possible without the help of hundreds of local volunteers, and their stories are just as fascinating as Eric's.
Somehow Patty Neville got my number, and he called me one day, and we talked for about half an hour, and he told me kind of what y'all did and asked me if I could kind of help out as being the general contractor. And after talking to him, I said, yeah, it'd be something y'all need to come down and talk, and we'll figure out what what my role needs to be. And at the end of our conversation, he said Eric would be happy. Eric's going to be happy, and I said, well, who's Eric? And he said, Eric Morante. We're building a house for him. Well, I've taken Eric hunting 4 times, so I told him then for sure. I was like, yeah, this is something that we'll definitely help you out with.
It's nice just to kind of come and be helping out and be a part of it without kind of the attention, and you know, I just get to come and work and be one of the guys. Favorite moment. Every day, all day is nothing but fun and working with these guys. So there's nothing that's not the best about being here. A group of really good guys getting together and speed building a house in 9 days. It's exactly what you would expect. Chaos and disorder, and they make it work, and they pull it all together.
I was in the Air Force for a little over 2 years. I ended up getting medically discharged, but I was a mechanic on the F-15s. I was stationed out in Idaho. First got involved with a Soldier's Journey Home 2 years ago when they built in Speedwell, Tennessee. I knew a firefighter from Knoxville who told me about it. So I helped in 2 days that year, and been along ever since. Was at Tony's build, and now we're here building for Eric. A lot of the volunteers and the core group here are firefighters, and a lot of them are also former military veterans. Just the work ethic in everyone is a lot. It seems to be a lot like the military drive that they give us. Also, just the patriotism and camaraderie between the men and women here is just it's very reminiscent of the stuff I had in the military.
All of us in America want to try to help each other. There's some sense in us as a duty or some kind of brotherhood bound by some way or another. And at which point, you know, everybody just steps up to the plate and does what they're asked to do and get it done. We had a trailer, so we decided to bring the trailer out and help supply and cook and make sure that everybody got a warm meal whenever they got a break. That brotherhood that's there is a bond that can't be broken. It's been tested with time and trial, and this is many builds they've done together, and it grows stronger every day.
I love it. This is what I do back home, not only because it's what I know, but it's what I enjoy. So it's great to be able to use my skills and knowledge for such a great cause. My inspiration comes from everyone that's here. Just watching them, seeing what they do, having a knack for this type of work. I enjoy just watching everyone else, so even jobs I haven't done, to learn more and do more.
I'm a war-injured veteran from Desert Storm, so I too am an amputee. In the beginning, we were building accessible homes, so we worked with amputee veterans, and so I had a direct connection with the amputee veterans.
The most gratifying thing that I've ever been involved with. I enjoy it. I've just grown to feel like I have to be here to these builds every year. Like I said, I miss Spring Grove, and I regret that. But I plan on making every other build because it's such a fulfilling thing to me. It's like, it's hard to describe the feeling. very, I don't know how to put it exactly, just total gratification. I feel great about supporting him. He's a fine young man. All these recipients are fine individuals, and I give them 100%. I try to give them 100% support. I'm old and out of shape, but I give them all I can.
I'm a disabled vet also. I served for 9 years and just helping give back. I like it. It helps being around the brotherhood of veterans, just everybody, somebody that's been through the same thing that you have, so it just kind of helps us out, helps us get through.
I mean, everyone just took vacation time and just came out here and got together, and everyone's working together to build this house in 10 days. I've always wanted to kind of give back because they give a lot for us. They go out and defend our country for us. So I mean, if they get injured in combat, I see no problem with helping them out.
Well, I just love doing this, and almost every one of these guys around here and gals, we're all family. You know, we couldn't enjoy a better group of people. You know, I spent my birthday here with these guys the other day, and we had just a good time at the end of the day. And you know, I couldn't, even being away from my family back in Tennessee, it was really nice to be with these guys.
It's been a journey these last 10 years. From coping, dealing, accepting, moving, healing, going forward, trying to figure out what else is to come, and then, you know, what am I going to do about, you know, career-wise afterwards, and it's just a big question mark. But like I said, now that weight is lifted off of me, and I can still focus on volunteering my time and helping others, and then not have to worry about what I'm going to do, you know, and saving up money to purchase a home and to get something where I'm going to be at the end of the day when I want to come home and take my leg off and relax, you know, and wheel around the house. I'm able to do that without any, you know, any other hiccups or bumps. I want to say thank you to you guys and everybody in Chicago, Hersey High School, the kids who built the walls and touched the walls, you know, back in Chicago and had them shipped down here. All the firefighters, A Soldier's Journey Home, 9 Line Foundation, and every American that's out there that's still supporting our military. Is it big? You like it? You love the colors? This is a great home. I can see definitely for sure the whole vinyl flooring, no carpet. You know, I'm not gonna have any struggles on my wheelchair. Getting in and out of these rooms, the doors are, you know, wide enough to where I can just coast on and slide in here and be comfortable. And so far that we've done the walkthrough, I've been able to access everything in the house. So it doesn't seem like we're gonna have any issues. These guys knocked it out to the T and they put everything together and it looks amazing, amazing. This is a good welcome home and a finally home for us, right? Yes, definitely.
For some, family members are the people that you share the dinner table with. But here, family takes a whole new meaning. You'll never meet a more loving, accepting, tight-knit group of men and women. When they say, "No man left behind" does not end on the battlefield, you know they mean it. For HTV News, I'm Kelly Homer.